That's me, a lonely introvert with little to no friends. Now what does somebody like me do when they have no one to help them film? They film themselves. If you're watching this, I'm assuming you probably want to learn how to film yourself, and I'm guessing you already own a camera, so I'm not going to go too heavy into that department. But I would say having a camera with a flip out screen and decent autofocus solves half of your problems when filming yourself. I for one have only just got an A7S III, so I was doing it the hard way with my Blackmagic 4K that has no autofocus or flip out screen. And to be honest, sometimes I still use my Blackmagic rig, but you need the right gear to assist you, so let's get into it. This is my Hollyland M1 monitor. By using a monitor, I have the ability to see what I'm doing with a screen that is 5 inches, giving me clear indication as to what it is I'm filming and framing up. The size of these monitors give you better clarity than the built-in monitors on any camera, so you're really at an advantage with a monitor if you can get your hands on one. If you want to take this further, you could also pair this up with a wireless transmission system, which will allow you to detach your monitor and give you maximum flexibility on movement and monitoring. But if you're just starting out, this isn't 100% necessary, so maybe just focus on getting your monitor first. Alongside the camera and monitor, the next crucial thing you're going to need is a tripod. Of course, if you're filming yourself, you don't have anyone to hold the camera, so you're going to need a tripod if you don't already own one. Now, a tripod can be boring because your camera's just sitting there with no movement. However, this is where we now talk about cinematography, and more importantly, framing. To get a cinematic looking frame, there's a few things I do or look for. First is finding symmetry where possible. Symmetry is always something that helps the aesthetics of any shot, as most of us unknowingly appreciate some good symmetry. Another thing I try to do is shooting through things, or in technical film terms, dirty in the frame. This helps add depth to your image, and if done right, it helps bring the viewer's focus in on what you're trying to show them. The last thing I try to do is separating myself from the background, and there's two ways of doing this. One is physically moving away from the background and filming in a larger space so you're able to do so, or through using lighting, which we're about to get into, as lighting is the king of kings when it comes to cinematic frames. So lighting is a huge thing when it comes to getting that cinematic look. You've got people in the industry that have dedicated their whole life to just lighting. Of course, I know you didn't ask for a full Hollywood breakdown, and I'm not in a position to give you that, so let's get into some basics. First thing I do is look where I can position a backlight before deciding on whether to shoot in a particular room. Going back to what I said earlier with separating yourself from a wall, a backlight is what will do this for you by adding a rim around you and making you stand out from what may be a dark background. Next, of course, you need to light your face, and in film terms, this is called key light. Now, in most cases, you want your key light to be soft, so you're not getting harsh shadows on your face, as this is not a dramatic horror movie. I usually use my Aladdin flexible light, and because this light is so small and lightweight, I can put this pretty much anywhere. When filming in my office, I usually place it on my auto pole, which is basically a pole that stretches across the room, wedging between the two walls, so you can place lights on it without needing a stand. I do always try and use practical lights, which is basically your normal light fixtures or even candles to help light the room and again add depth to your frame. The one I'm using here is actually an RGB film light bulb but it's powered through a lamp with a screw attachment. It's also battery powered, in case you wondered. So to quickly summarize on this lighting breakdown, we have a backlight to help separate yourself from the background. We have a key light which will light you. Then we have practicals to light your background and add depth and moodiness to your room. Now an added bonus to help your image look even more moody and giving it atmosphere and texture for that cinematic look. You can add some smoke from a smoke machine or some incense sticks or sage and just have them burn until you get your atmosphere. Now with all of this combined, hopefully you've got your cinematic image and you can thank me later. Also, if you don't have the exact equipment that I've shown in this video, there's always cheaper alternatives, and it's not down to what you have, it's down to how you use them. It's all about the technique. But if you do want to purchase any of the gear that I've got, then all the links will be in the description. Again, thank me later. And here are some random shots just to show what I was able to pull off with this lighting setup. Appreciate you. Okay, bye.